I find your disposition to be obnoxious and repugnant. Hello everyone, it's Joel Davis with the United Medical Transportation Providers Group and YouAreTheBroker.com, helping you to build a highly effective and highly profitable broker business. Before I start today, let me remind all of you, if you are an active UMTPG member, email Karen at milliondollartransportation.com. Make sure you give her the most up-to-date mailing address because we are going to email you a DVD that is an actual conference call from a client provider who I've been working with, and it is a great call, great DVD. It's going to give you great insight into how to use your market analysis, how to engage with hospitals, nursing facilities, the hierarchy, how to really strategize and penetrate those facilities. So if you are an active UMTPG member, email Karen, Karen, at milliondollartransportation.com. Give her your up-to-date email address. We have a lot of members, love you all, but you know, addresses change, so we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date database, especially because in the new year 2022, because we're 1 year ahead, we are going to be doing some more things in the future. So make sure you contact her if you're an active UMTPG member. Now let's dive in. Emails. I find your disposition to be obnoxious and repugnant. I find your disposition to be obnoxious and repugnant. Who talks like that? Who says that? I don't think I've ever used the word repugnant before, and I don't think I've ever used the word disposition. Who talks like that? Clearly you must be, if you're a female, you got to be a Starbucks drinker. Clearly. That's so like British, uppity. I just had to share that one because I've never, typically I would get the like, you're a cocky a-hole, but that's so blase. I've been getting that since high school. Who cares, you know? But I find your disposition to be obnoxious and repugnant. If you're a guy, man, did I have sex with your girlfriend or something? Your sister? I don't know. I used to be a bad boy. I'm not anymore. Maybe both. Girlfriend and sister. Anyways, so on one side, people who hate Joel, I find your disposition to be obnoxious and repugnant. And then on the other side, I got, thanks so much for your videos and content. You're hysterical. You should start a podcast. And everything in between. All you Republicans, you hate me because you're spineless sellouts, and the Democrats hate me because they're godless hypocrites. So I'm just left with just biblical capitalists. That's what I'm left with. So anyways, I always enjoy sharing that stuff. That's hysterical. But podcast, hey man, I'd love to do a podcast, but I do not have the time. If I didn't have my my broker business, I probably would do something like that because there's so much stuff to talk about. Especially, I love geopolitics. I love the geopolitical landscape, especially now with everything that's going on, not just globally, but now with the Biden mafia crime family and everything. Oh man, I'm loving this stuff. This is crazy. This is outstanding stuff. I'd love to be doing podcasts. It's just free content that, man, I love it. And again, politics affects policy, which affects your money. Politics affects policy, which directly affects your money. So that's why I know everyone's busy, but man, you got to keep an eye on politics because it affects the policy, which affects your money. It's craziness. I love it. But the good news is, especially for those of you in the market, that businessman in office is going to be reelected. And as I told you guys before in a previous video, if I'm wrong, I encourage you, unsubscribe and run away from the fat man. My pride can take it. My pride can take you unsubscribing. My honeypots can sustain the hit. I'm good. But the good news is that businessman in office is going to be reelected. The Loon Tunes are going to not just continue to burn down the village, they're going to nuke their villages, level them, but we're going to weather the storm. Markets are going to rage in the next term. I believe, this is just me armchair quarterbacking it, because I think the businessman in office has already signaled it. I think that he's going to further reduce taxes, streamlining it, eliminating a lot of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think he's going to definitely start to further put a stronghold on China, which is definitely going to help us domestically, bring more jobs back here. The economy is just going to boom, bottom line. So thank you, because that businessman in office is going to be reelected. So as I get back on point, this is from an email, and I had to share this one because it's awesome. This is from an email from a provider who is doing a great job. Let me start by reading her email. She says, "You know you are the SHIT," and she didn't say the word. You know you're the SHIT when you have brokers calling you asking if they can raise your rates so you will take more of their trips, and you have other brokers asking if you can take their trips and you aren't any part of their system or program. She operates out of network. This is phenomenal. I'm going to start at the top just to further underscore and reiterate what she's saying. You know you're the SHIT when you have brokers calling you asking if they can raise your rates so you will take more of their trips, and you have other brokers asking if you can take their trips and you are any part of their system or program, and you are given a credit card to put on file to charge at will. Laugh out loud. This provider, she's in a great market. Now understand, not every market is the same, so not everyone's going to be able to duplicate what she's doing. Dynamics are different everywhere, but she's in a very good market. But she operates out of network, and they've all come in, they've all tried to get her to come in like the typical, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Brokers, they don't want you to be a businessman. They just want you to be a man in business. So they can just shove you around and use you as will. They don't want you to be a smart, sound businesswoman. They just want you to be a woman in business so they can manipulate you as well. She is not a dingbat. She is on point. She is not going to be manipulated. She doesn't make poor choices or miscalculations. She operates out of network so she can name their price. And here it is. You have one broker saying, hey, we'll pay you even more if you'll take some of our trips. Let me continue. This is awesome. She says, God is so good! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Access to Care asked if we remove the mileage cap from our stretcher rates, would we be willing to take more of their trips? So now I get my pick of rates and per mile. And MTM called and gave me a credit card to put on file for one of their dialysis clients because they can't find a reliable transportation provider. Now this is key. Whoever buys my company will have some big shoes to fill if they don't bring God to the court with them. Now here's what's beautiful about this. A, she doesn't operate in network. She doesn't go out like a sucker. She doesn't allow herself to be manipulated. She understands. I know she doesn't mention it in this email, but from previous correspondence and working with her, she's already had to add more vehicles to her fleet. So I think she's at 10 right now. Now, she's adding to her fleet. She's a 7-figure business. She has great margins. She's like closer, if not at 50% margin, which is phenomenal. And I always tell you that realistically, your target space, you want to be around 25. You start getting less than that, then I start to get a little more concerned. Anything above that is gravy. So clearly, her gravy overfloweth. Phenomenal. But my point to you mentioning her vehicles is she's not like everybody out there where I need to buy all brand new Ford Transits. Oh, I need to have the greatest, the newest and the greatest and the latest because I want to impress everybody. No. She keeps her eye on the numbers. She manages the top line and the bottom line. Every vehicle she gets, some of them are older than others, I know for an absolute certainty. But guess what? Takes great care of them. And guess what? It all adds to her margin. So for those of you who are just so bedazzled, ooh, I can get a brand new vehicle. I could pay $55,000 for a Ford Transit. Do you think she would ever do that? Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. She ain't foolish like that. She doesn't do that. And then you put on top of that, So she makes good, sound decisions in how she builds her fleet. She makes very good strategic decisions of what trips she will accept and which trips she won't accept. And she won't go in network. Hence the reason now they're begging her, come into network and we'll pay you more. They're having a hard time trying to find adequate providers. Why? A lot of providers went out of business. Some are coming in business. Some just don't know their ASS from a hole in the ground. Some of the stories I see out there are absolutely phenomenal. But what I like the most here, and this is key because she and I have had 1,000,001 conversations. What I like the best is whoever buys my company, boom, right there. Whoever buys my company. And 1, 2, 3, 4 words. That's the most critical thing that I like about this. So I already know she's doing phenomenally well. But then she starts her last sentence. Whoever buys my company, boom. She already knows this is the game. This is money making. This is a game. How do you build? How do you maximize your play? She already knows she's going to sell this business at a multiple. And guess what? That's the game. That's the play. Not like all the chasers out there and they give you all the feel-good fluff. I just want to help people. I just want to be the best transportation provider I could be. Oh, well, shucks, Johnny, here's how you do it. Just apply with the broker. Oh, Ralph, come on, just go get some insurance on your car and use it. You're going to be great because you're helping people. Look, this is the play. Make as much money as possible. 7-figure business at around 50% margin when she's doing it, which is exceeding the market standard. Trust me. So she's really doing exceptionally well. But the most important thing is she knows she needs to sell at a multiple. I mean, she's going to ching-ching this when she sells it one day, and it's phenomenal. It is such a difference as compared to chasers, all the freebie experts out there who flood all the social media and the groups and the nonsense. Chasers. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I could go on and on talking about the situation because I just love, there's so many great elements. And again, she and I, we've done one-on-one, we've worked, we've talked. She's come to some live events. I mean, this is what you want. This is someone who's doing it properly. Another one. Let's see. I have nearly 4 years experience in, and she names a state. I have nearly 4 years experience in my state, in which I did quite well for myself. Whereas I completed approximately 2,000 assigned long distance trips for 2019. From what I understand, I live in a state where you must use this broker and can not bill Medicaid directly. However, our local transit has recently achieved this and is now able to complete NEMT trips in which they are directly billing Medicaid due to the short notice in which they can accept trips. I've lost some of my clientele. I called to ask how they were doing this, and not much to my surprise, this was confidential. I have spent countless hours looking for answers on the internet, and you seem to be the information that keeps coming up. Do you have any knowledge on how they are achieving this or any guidance to give me? After watching some of your videos, I have changed my mind on how I would like to proceed with building my business model. I know you stated not being much on helping newbies. That's not true. I help a lot of newbies. I just don't help the chasers who want freebie advice. Big difference between newbies. I help newbies every day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's the freebie experts. They don't understand the value of time and how you have to pay for someone else's time. So that's a big difference. But your information seems to be on point. Any advice or help is truly appreciated. You don't mention it, but based on everything you're saying here, I can only assume that everything you're doing is ambulatory. And you flippantly throw the word NEMT around through no fault of your own. I say flippantly, not through any fault of your own, but everybody thinks that just because they have their car and their sedan, and they get insurance, whatever, and they think just because they're transporting elderly people, they're non-emergency medical transportation. Laughable joke. So without knowing more of the backstory here, I suspect that the local transit, they're doing that nickel and dime subsidized transportation that, some of it is fixed route. Sometimes it's not so much fixed route, but it's by appointment only. And they go out of route, lengthy wait time, but it's subsidized. I mean, bottom line, based on everything you're telling me here, I can only surmise that what you're doing is ambulatory, which is a losing proposition. If you read the email that I just went through from this other girl, trust me, she doesn't waste her time with ambulatory. Ambulatory is a waste of time. We want multiples. We want increased capacity, do more with less, increase the top line, manage the bottom line. Bottom line, your margins. Your margins are so low. First of all, you're going after only Medicaid, which comprises about 30 to 40%, depending on what statistics and who you talk to. So Medicaid comprises 30 to 40% of the NEMT space. Furthermore, you're only focused on ambulatory, which is, of the three, ambulatory, wheelchair, and stretcher. Clearly, you're going after the least profitable mode of transportation. There's just no upside to what you're doing, bottom line. So I help newbies, but you have to understand there's nothing wrong with being a newbie, but there's just so much free crap online. What happens is the chasers have totally dominated the internet of free space, free advice, this and that. And all it is noise that's confusing so many of you, so that when you do come to us and you do retain our services after you've been exhausted and you've wasted so much time and money, again, we have to just data dump so much of that nonsense, and you're chasing so many shiny objects. Why do you want to go after just Medicaid? That's 30 to 40% of the market. Why do you want to go after the weakest, lowest form of reimbursement, which is ambulatory? I want you to build a dynamic business model, A, so that you squeeze out as much profit earning potential as possible, A. Second, I want you to leverage the heck out of that platform to do other things. Go start a broker business. The best thing that I have in my life in terms of business is my broker business, because it has nothing to do with Medicaid or NEMT, and I make 3 times as much money as I did in my NEMT. It's just fact, okay? That is what it is. So leverage your NEMT business as a platform to get into other businesses, whether it's home care, your courier, starting your broker business. I would never have had my broker business if it wasn't for NEMT. There's just no way. I leverage one to get to another, and it's just awesome that my broker business has nothing to do with NEMT. And then the third thing is, put yourself in a position where you sell at a multiple. Boom, end of story, bottom line. Not, I really enjoy what I do. I could see myself driving all the way till I'm 85 years old. If you really see that and you aspire to that, God bless you. I commend you. I really do, sincerely. All I'm saying is, that's not for me. That's not the business model for many of the people I work with. If you just want to drive and be the best driver, and if you are driving in year 3 of your business yourself, we need major change. And I say year 3 very loosely, because I see some people, they're out of that, they're done within the first year, which is phenomenal. But I'm trying to be flexible here and realistic for some of you. But the goal is to make money. If the goal is not to make money, go chase with the chasers. The hunting is good. The goal has got to be build a dynamic business model with increased margins so you have great cash flow, you're able to save money, deploy the strategies that I outlined in some of the other videos. And that previous provider, I already know that she does. She's already forming her own consulting business to help her management company to serve as a consultant to her NEMT business. I already know that she's building a finance company that's going to further help her finance the existing vehicles, which they are doing, and now she's financing other things as well outside NEMT. So she's building not only a dynamic business model, she's increasing positive cash flow, increasing ROI, saving and investing money, building a honeypot, and we know that in the future we're going to sell at a multiple. That's the goal. And that's where the chasers go wrong. The chasers only care about, how do I get a contract with the broker? What's next? How do I buy the newest vehicle? How can I put more plexiglass inside my car so it protects people from the virus, even though the virus goes underneath and around and over and all kind of stuff? Where can I place my hand sanitizers? They chase the shiny objects. They are not focused on the bottom line. Joe, you're insensitive. No, just repugnant. Just repugnant. Hello, my name is blank, and I'm the son of the owner of blank, a taxi business turned NEMT provider operating 50 counties in eastern blank. I'm interested in a potential membership partnership after watching many of Joel Davis's videos. My goal once my dad retires and me and my brother start running the business is to expand into private pay, service agreements, and contract work. Currently, we're just working with Logisticare, dud, and have pretty good success with them, 25 to 40 lags a day, but I know the importance of not being reliant on them and other NEMT brokers. Thank you. A lot to unpack there, a lot of redundancies, a lot of things I've already mentioned. Your house is completely built on sand. Logisticare is nation's largest and worst broker, followed by MTM, 25 to 40 lags a day. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a lot. If that sets your world on fire, I encourage you, let's expand our thinking and our vision and possibilities. The only way that I'm really impressed by that is if the 25 to 40 lags is really a lot of distance, which maybe it is because you say you work in 50 counties, but that just doesn't sound like, that's not adding up to me. I'm not sure. I have to learn a little bit more. But the reason why I shared your email, we got a ton of emails, I'm going to have to make another video because I'm going to have to cut this off here pretty soon. But I'll make some more videos. But the reason I mention this is because you said that you're a taxi service and you're working on becoming an NEMT provider. And that's why I shared yours, because when you get this video, the UMTPG members, the person who is on that conference call, same thing as you, he's been a taxi cab, owned a taxi company for a long time. And ironically enough, like you, it was started by his father. He went off on his own, and now he's doing NEMT. Now, this person who I did the conference call with, this is his email that he sent me. This is from last week when I first made mention of this DVD. He asked me if that was his conference call, and he said, I'm glad you're using it, and hopefully it can help a lot of providers like me looking to transition into legit, he says the word legit, NEMT. I know I'm paying you, but you go above and beyond. I appreciate all the help. Doing a legit, he said it again, doing a legit NEMT is in another league compared to what I'm currently doing. So it's a lot to learn to do it correctly. Again, now that person, you're going to hear him on here. You're going to hear him, all you UMTPG members. So I stress the word, the reason I put that in there as well is because in two places he mentions the word legit. And that kind of, I really want you to clearly understand. And this to circle back to some of the previous emails. Just because you drive your own car, sedan, and you're doing ambulatory work, maybe for a broker, maybe not for a broker, just because you're transporting elderly people doesn't make you a legitimate NEMT business. Here is the Joel Davis definition of a legitimate NEMT business. You are poised, you have increased capacity, you have adequate capacity where you are poised to go after legitimate contracts and service agreements with facilities, with counties, with states, with cities, with VAs, with school districts. You're never going to have that. Not tomorrow, not today, not ever. You're never going to have that if all you do is operate sedans and ambulatory work. Now I know you can be well invited and welcomed into the chaser circles, but everything goes back to, are you making money? Did you improve from 6 months ago? Did you improve from last year? Did you improve from 2 years ago? Did you improve from 5 years ago? If you're not, your system is broken. Bottom line, and I don't care what anybody says, it all comes down to, are you making money? Not just generating money. Are you making money? And are you making the kind of money that you want to be making, that you feel that you should or could be making? Because if you're not, why waste your time? Why waste your time? I'll never understand. There's a ton more emails here, but I do not have time to go through them all because I need to run. So I'm going to cut it off. I'll do another video soon. I'm not exactly sure when. So I'll do another video soon. But again, if you are an active UMTPG member, email Karen, Karen, at milliondollartransportation.com. Give her your up-to-date mailing address, and if you want to include your phone number, that's cool, whatever. Because we're supposed to get the whole big box of these, several hundred of them, any day now. I mean, probably, next day or two. So once they come, they're going to ship them out. So you're all going to get those. It's a great conversation. So go ahead and get that. So listen, I'm going to cut this off because I got to run to a meeting. And all these other emails here, I'm just going to have to get them. I'll make another video and we'll do that later on. So to all of my fellow repugnant, obnoxious, deplorables, I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned. I'm not going to do a podcast because I don't have time for that, but I'm going to keep putting good content together for you. But again, in the new year, we're going to send out good stuff to our active members because it's time for you to get some preferred information versus getting caught up in all the noise out there with all the chasers and the freebie experts. It's craziness. Anyways, thanks so much for watching the video. I will see you at the top.